Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'll be breaking down our next matchup for UFC 326. In this matchup, we have Rafael Tobias taking on Diyar Nurgozhay. This is going to be an interesting one because both guys are capable of ending a fight pretty quickly and viciously, but the difference here isn't offense, it's more so their defense in this type of matchup. Because you look at our two fighters, starting with Nurgozhay. He's currently 10-2 as a professional, 3-2 in his last five fights. Now, currently speaking, he's 0-2 in the UFC, having been submitted by Brenson Ribeiro. Oh, and then most recently, last August, got submitted by Uran Sadi Beldayev. And both of them by pretty unique submissions, right? One was a Kimura, the other an Ezekiel choke. And the fact that Nurgozhay is getting submitted by those types of low percentage submissions, I think does have leave Rafael Tobias with a clear path to victory. Speaking of Tobias, he's currently 14-1 as a professional, 5-0 in his last five fights. Now, this will be his UFC debut, as he won on Contender Series against Jair de Oliveira about 5 months ago. And from what I've seen, Tobias, really good finisher. Or in fact, you look at all 14 of his wins. Currently, 5 are by knockout, 6 are by submission. So 11 finishes of 14 wins. That is pretty impressive. Now, again, not the highest level of opposition, but still, they'll show that he's a well-rounded threat. So I think that adds a bit of a dynamic in this one. But with that being said, let's get down to the breakdown. Starting with Rafael Tobias. Like I said, he hasn't fought elite competition yet. That's fair to say. His resume doesn't scream killers. You look at some of the other opponents besides Oliveira, right? 12-4, 9-5, 8-5-1, and then a debuting guy. Like I said, not the highest level opposition. But again, he has shown he does have good finishing power. He's got knockouts, he has submissions, and he does have some decision wins. And that balance matters because on the feet, I think Rafael has legit power. When he lands clean, he usually gets a reaction. He doesn't tend to need a ton of volume. He just needs moments. And on the ground, he's also dangerous as well. He's not just someone who falls into submission. He actively hunts them. And he looks to capitalize when opponents scramble or give him even small openings. And that's important in this matchup. Because while he may not be the most polished minute winner, he's very capable of flipping a fight with one transition or one clean shot. And so for me, it looks like Tobias, at least right now, what I've seen, he's well-rounded in the sense that he can hurt you standing or finish you on the mat. And that gives him options in this fight. Now, looking at Diyar Nurgozhay, he's pretty explosive. He's pretty powerful himself. That head kick he landed on Contender Series shows exactly the kind of athlete he is. Diyar, he can generate speed quickly. He can close distance fast, and he carries pop in his strikes. And for what it's worth, he does seemingly have solid takedown defense. Technically speaking, he hasn't been controlled extensively on the mat, and he can stay upright if he wants to. In fact, weirdly enough, he somehow has 100% takedown defense, but yeah, he's been submitted twice, which is very odd when you think about it. For one of those fights, in the Brenson Ribeiro fight, Diyar took Brenson down, but Ribeiro was able to get a Kimura and actually use it to sweep and then finished it from there, getting that submission. For Uran, again, it was another case of, I think, Diyar took him down, but then got caught after being reversed and got caught in the Ezekiel choke. So while he can stop shots all day, but once a scramble happens and once someone locks hands or finds your neck, that's a different conversation. So Diyar, he has shown good defensive abilities in the takedown department, but in the scrambles, he's shown a deficiency in there. And that could be a big problem in this fight against someone who, seemingly for what it's worth, is a well-rounded finisher. Now, stylistically, I feel like, again, I've been saying this a lot in this card for right now, this likely starts standing, right? All fights do. And while Nurgozhay is explosive early, I think Tobias carries power too. So for the first few minutes, it could be pretty tense, but if Tobias can survive the initial burst and mix in level changes or force clinches, I think the fight will shift in his favor. As I think Nurgozhay's best path is to keep this clean and explosive, land something big, and don't get caught in clinch or tie-ups. Tobias' best path, I think, is to drag this is into transitions, make it messy, find a neck, attack during scrambles. And when a fighter has shown multiple submission losses already, like Nurgozhay, in fact, he was undefeated before getting to the UFC, and now not only are his two has he suffered two losses back to back, but he's been submitted in both of them. Um, you have to like respect the pattern that you're seeing here. So I think grappling is the X factor here. Even if Diyar can stuff takedowns, it doesn't mean he's safe because all it takes is one scramble. All it takes is like one slip up. And Tobias has shown he can capitalize quickly because he hurt Oliveira before finding the submission. It's not like he took him down. And so if this hits the mat even briefly, I favor Tobias heavily. And even in standing, Tobias has the power to make Nurgozhay hesitate. And that hesitation could create the opening for a level change. So overall, I think Nurgozhay is dangerous. If he lands clean early, this could end pretty quickly. But over the course of the full fight, or the full 15 minutes, I trust Tobias' finishing versatility more. He has multiple ways to win. Nurgozhay has shown a repeated vulnerability in one specific area. And against someone who hunts submissions actively like that, in a pretty good striker, that's a dangerous flaw. So I'm going to go with Rafael Tobias, and I'm actually going to pick him via submission as well. Even if he doesn't get necessarily a takedown in, I do believe if he can land a clean shot and hurt or even drop Diyar, I think he's going to be able to scramble and get the submission in. So once again, I'm picking Rafael Tobias, and I'm going to pick him via submission in this fight. But with that being said, that's been my breakdown of this matchup. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win. But until then, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. And remember, stay calm, stay respectful, and enjoy the violence. I'll see y'all next time.